Hi everybody, welcome to the channel. I'm Gary and this is my dog Archie, and this month Archie's put a request in for Run To You by Bryan Adams. He used to run to me all the time when he was young. These days he hobbles to me because he's 18 years old. So we're going to have a look at a rock classic. Get your guitar ready, crank your amp up and let's go. So how are you doing everybody? Hope everybody's well, enjoying the summer. This is a great track. I've seen Bryan Adams probably about 6 or 7 times. The last time I saw him was in Lytham, actually an outdoor festival not far from where I live, Lancashire way. It's absolutely great. I think Bryan's an amazing artist, really successful. I think he's underestimated for how good he is. His songwriting's amazing. And he's got, just in my opinion, a perfect rock voice. I wish I could sing like he can. He makes everything sound great and the songs are great anyway. And Run To You is probably one of his best. So we're going to look at it in detail as usual. We'll get close up, go through all the parts. It's really good fun to play this one. So I hope you enjoy it. If you're new to the channel, please give me a like and please hit the subscribe button. It is of course free to subscribe in YouTube, but it just means you get to see new videos when I put them out. Anyway, let's get close up for this one, enjoy it, and we're going to do Run To You. Okay, so we're nice and close up now. Hopefully you can see everything. This song is in standard tuning, but we have a capo, as you can see, at the 2nd fret, and that's what gives this riff really its distinctive sound. It sounds amazing. It's great experimenting actually with, you know, shifting tones up and down with the capo. A lot of the lessons I've covered include, you know, sort of different types of tunings and capos. I think it just keeps you playing, you know, really fresh, and this song certainly has that. So what we'll do, we'll look at the opening riff. Just on tone tips as well, I've got a little bit of gain or crunch through the amplifier, a little bit of reverb through the amplifier. I've also added some chorus. It's best if you've got a single coil guitar for this riff. It's definitely a single coil sound, and I think on the recording it's quite a clean sound, and then you get more crunch and gain as we come into the pre-chorus and the chorus. But I've just got a kind of in-between type tone. So that when I hit the guitar a bit harder, I get a bit more crunch to it. So I'll play through the opening riff, and this features throughout the verses as well, so it's a big part of the song. I'll play through it and then we'll break it down. It goes like this. Okay, so it sounds amazing. So we're in E minor, but because we capoed up, it becomes an F sharp minor, and I'm just holding down the A2 from the capo, the A string, the 2nd fret, and I'm playing an open E string, and then the D string with downward strums. And then the A back to the E string. And then I'm going to hold down the E string there at the 3rd fret from the capo. So it's like the bottom part of a G chord really. I'm also holding the A2. Hopefully you can see that. So I've got the A2 and the E3, and I'm just plucking the E, A and D string. So far we've got, and then you let that open E string ring out in between, and then we just slide that up. Again, just raking up and then back down the strings. Okay, and that's a big part of the song. It's the introduction, it's most of the verse, so just get that nice and fluent. It's not that hard to play, but it sounds great. Okay, and then we get to a kind of, the vocals come in, or the band comes in. There are some, I should say, some lead guitar parts, which I'm going to show you later. They feature just over that riff in the introduction and in some parts of the verse, and then there's a kind of solo bit in the middle. So we'll look at all that stuff later on. The next part is a kind of pre-chorus. So here we go into a C chord. And you can play that with a bit of arpeggio style. So I'm kind of striking the root of the chord on the A string. Up to a D. Just a normal D chord, striking it from the D string. And then we go to it's like a sort of B5 power chord, but with the capo on, it's a C sharp 5. So those chords again, it's a C, but a C shape, but with the capo it's actually a D chord. Then a D, but again with the capo that's really an E. And then our B5 power chord, which is a C sharp 5 really with the capo, and you just have a few. And that's the pre-chorus part. When it gets too much, the lyrics go, I want to feel your touch. And then we're into the chorus, and the chorus is just simple chords. We've got an E minor, but with the capo on it's an F sharp minor. Up to a G, or I play it with sort of like a G 5. It's like a sort of, I'm holding down the E and the B string there at the 3rd fret, muting the A, and holding down the root note. So it's more of a rocking sounding G. I'm not really focusing on that note within the G chord, so it's a sort of okay. Up to a D chord. So that's really an E, I suppose, with the capo on, and then we're an A chord, and that just becomes, it's a B chord really. And it's important really with those to get the strumming and the rhythm in it. So it's a downward strum. And then a couple of up strums. So I'm going sort of, just watch the strumming hand. And that just goes round, that's the chorus. Later on in the song, after the guitar solo, that part comes back in again. You've got the arpeggio guitar part, which we'll look at later, and then there's just like a slight pause, the track goes quiet, and then I love that part of the song, it just comes back in. And that's all the intro, the verses, the pre-chorus and the chorus part. Really easy but very effective. Alright, so that's the main part really, the capo part, the main riff and the chords. What I'm going to do next is show you there are a few lead parts that crop up through the track, so we'll look at those now. So just before we look at the solo itself, still with the capo on, the chords that go on behind the solo are an E, which is really an F sharp because we capoed up, and then a D, which is really an E because we capoed up, C, which becomes a D, and a D again, which is really an E note. So we'll look at the main solo part. It's easy to play. We'll also after that look at there's various small lead parts that just pop up throughout the track in the introduction and the verse. We'll look at those as well. For this part I've removed the capo, and I've also switched off the chorus, and I've also got a bit more crunch now. Because we want these notes to sustain, so it's a much more of a crunchy, cranked up sound than the parts we've looked at so far. And what we're doing really with this is moving from suspension type chords down to majors. It's the sort of that type of thing. We start, so I'm starting on the first string at the 6th fret, down to the 5th, 6th string on the B, and the 5th string on the G string. And just add some vibrato at the end. And all you do is just move that down. So starting on the 4th fret. Moving it down to start on the... You can slide up. Just like that. That's the main solo part, so it's really easy, sounds very effective. Now going on behind that, there is actually a harmony part played on a second guitar. It might not be possible to do that in a band, but I'll just show you what that is anyway for completeness if you want to play it, and then we'll go on to look at these sort of 3 or 4 small little lead bits that feature throughout the song. We'll look at those at the end. Okay, so the guitar solo harmony bits sound like this. I'm sliding up on the B string from 7 to 9. And then back again, and then going to 6 on the G, and 8 on the D string, and then we just slide that down. That's the harmony part behind the solo. Nice to have if you can, but you don't really need it, but it's there for completeness. We'll now go on to look at some of the other lead parts that I mentioned. Again, these are played with no capo and with more crunch distortion on the guitar to make them ring out. But the first lead part that we hear comes in during the introduction after 4 bars, and we're just using the F sharp pentatonic, and what we're doing is bending up on B5, whole step, and then release it, and then we're bending up on G4, again a whole step, and just letting that sort of decay or feedback. If you're playing loud, there's a bit of feedback that takes over on the record, so it's this. During the second verse we get similar riff to the one from the introduction, only an octave higher, so I'm up on B17, bending right up again another tone. It comes in a little bit quicker, and then bending up on 16 on the G. Next we've got a nice little riff that appears in the second verse. I think it's when the lyrics going something like "She says her love for me would never die," something like that. We've got this. So all I'm doing there is just sliding up from G, sort of 5 to 6, and then B 5 to 7. And then we take it on B at 17, we go right at the neck again, and there's just a... Again, listen to it in the context of the record, but that's all it is, just bending up to full tone. Hard on this guitar actually, it's a vintage fingerboard. When you're playing those, just rake, mute. I'm muting a bit with the palm of my hand. You get that. To get that effect that you hear on the record. And those are all the lead parts for Run to You. Alright, so I'll just summarise what we've done. Listen to the record as always for the timings of when these things come in and how many bars there are and so on. I'm not counting, but I'll just play through a few bars of the introduction and the riff throughout the verse. Then we'll go into the pre-chorus and those chorus chords. So we'll look at everything we've just done so far. Sounds like this. So that's Run to You by Bryan Adams. I really hope you've enjoyed it. Please let me know what you think. I love to hear your comments. I reply to them all. I've not got that many subscribers. I've hit about 500 recently, so I'm dead chuffed about that, but hopefully we can get to a lot more. So until next time, enjoy your guitar playing, and I'll see you soon.